Today we'll be looking at two more models that help us understand more about attitude. The first one, developed by Russell H. Fazio, talks about implicit and explicit attitudes. The first one, implicit attitudes, are attitudes at the unconscious level. These are involuntary and typically unknown to us. These attitudes are automatically activated and act as a filter through which you view the attitude object, and they color your perceptions of this object. That is, behavior emerges as a consequence of our automatically activated and unconscious attitudes. On the other hand, explicit attitudes are those which are at the conscious level. These are deliberately formed and easy to see within yourself. The attitude an individual chooses takes into consideration the results they want to achieve from the various alternatives that they have, and then they decide upon a behavior or attitude plan. Both can affect our behavior, but in times of stress, when we're overwhelmed and distracted, the implicit or automatic attitudes tend to dominate. That is, we fall back on the attitudes we are familiar with, the ones that have become our habits. Now let's look at the CAB model of attitude. This model is a composite of three components. The first one, the cognitive component, reflects our beliefs, thoughts, and the attributes that we have that are associated with the object that we have an attitude about. The second one, the affective, is the feelings or emotions linked to the object. Now think of Christmas, ice cream, the dentist, spiders, and snakes. I just have to mention spiders or snakes to my wife, and she has an automatic emotional response. The third one is the behavioral component, and this is how we behave towards an object. It includes past experiences and behaviors that we have had with that attitude object. Often we base our attitude on these past experiences. Now, what does this all mean? Well, we have both conscious and unconscious attitudes, and much of the time it's easier to let our past experiences decide our attitude instead of deliberately choosing one. Essentially, we are letting our unconscious attitudes control how we respond much of the time. And finally, attitude is a composite of three components: the cognitive, or our thoughts; the affective, our feelings; and behavior, our actions. And now for the moment you've been waiting for, attitude simplified. But that's the topic of our next video.